Hello and welcome to video number 11 for Networks and Data Security. My name is Chris, and in this video we're going to be discussing the process and procedure for documenting network problems, as well as all of the information that should be included in them, and the importance of documenting network problems and expediting problem solving. Hope you've had a lot of coffee. I sure have. Let's go. So, the first part of this is talking about the documentation ticketing system templates and programs, and there are many different templates. There are different criteria that companies have when it comes to documenting network issues, but there are also a number of programs that can be used by a company or by yourself to document network issues. Some of these programs are like NetZoom, Microsoft Vision, Remedy, Lotus Notes. Anyway, the whole point of documenting a network issue is to cover a few of the key things, just to summarize for now. The kind of problem you're having, if you know what's causing it, who's having this problem, when the problem was resolved, and what was done to do it. Now, the first step is identifying your network problem and confirming that there's no existing solution. So you're having a trouble on your network, you're at work, or at home, doesn't matter. But primarily you do this at work. So you're having trouble accessing a network resource. Can't get to it. All right. Very likely your job isn't going to be to fix this problem, start running administrative tools. Not that you have access to them, I'm sure. But you're going to open up your documentation area. This is likely a program that's been designated for the issues tracking. It's a system that the company is using as a standardized way of reporting, tracking, monitoring, and updating the technical team on problems that have been occurring around the work site. Now again, while every program and template may differ and be different from one and the next, there are some key things that are typically going to be part of this documentation process. Now, if at all possible, document the affected hardware. So this could be your computer, the server, router, switch, terminals, connectivity. Very likely it'll just have a button to detect all of this information in your computer, to get the information from your computer and just paste it into a certain area on the report to be included. You're not going to have to try and search this stuff out, most likely. It'll just be included with the report when you send it off. Next is going to be documenting the affected software, including versions. Are you having trouble browsing the internet with Internet Explorer? Or is it with Google Chrome? Or is the account management software or single sign-on process not running? Is it unable to connect to the database? Are you unable to sign in? Can you sign in but not do anything? All of these things are tied into the description of the issue that you're having. So try and be as descriptive as possible when explaining or describing what you were doing and when you're having the problem. You're likely going to include who you are. This may also be done automatically when you submit the ticket. You would be identified by your employee number and name, most likely, but there may also be a field for you to identify yourself. You may also be reporting this issue on behalf of somebody else. So if somebody comes to you with a problem and tells you that they can't do this or can't do that, and can you create a ticket for me? Okay, sure. Make sure you have their information just in case, because you're likely going to need to enter it when you create the support ticket. Depending on the type of issue that you're having and the position you're in, you may also know who should be responsible to fix this issue, the team that's going to be designated to resolve the problem. This may be a field on the documentation itself that you're sending it to a field technician because there's an excavator that cut through a line between the ISP and an end terminal and entire neighborhood's out because dude on the backhoe didn't know what he was doing. Or it could be the software development team who in the last patch and update has taken the entire third floor down. Nobody can access their schedule anymore. Now, if you've already taken some steps to troubleshoot the issue yourself, there'll likely be an area for extra notation for you to include that information. Not that the team designated to repair and identify the issue won't also do the same things, but it may also help them just kind of, at a glance, isolate that the problem may not lie over here, but may in fact lie between the keyboard and the chair. And of course, the date of the submission. Now, again, this is one of those things that will probably just be attached and affixed to the support ticket when you submit it automatically, because it'll include the date and time that trouble issue was started, when it was first identified, when it was first submitted. Now, the resolution team on the other end They'll be taking this ticket and they're going to run with it. They're going to try and identify and isolate the issue. They're going to try and solve it, resolve it, what have you. As they do this, okay, when they do things to troubleshoot the issue, when they've identified key components of the problem, the trouble ticket gets updated. Steps taken will be updated. And once it's resolved, the ticket will be closed with a closed date. Now, the main purpose behind this documentation process isn't to just waste time in a day, which it will, or upset users, which it will, very, very much so. It makes troubleshooting future issues of the same sort and design more efficient. Because over time, with repeat issues and things, especially the same kinds of issues, right? The way that the issues were previously resolved become the new standard, like a streamlined, optimized way of troubleshooting that problem. They just get to the quick points, boom, 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 boom. But as you go, as more issues are tracked, reported, and resolved, an ever-expanding database of this know-how is created. It's searchable. And it makes it easier for somebody who's not in the field, right? Because, I mean, you can't just go out there with a flash jacket on and start repairing the lines yourself. I mean, you could try, but it's not going to go well. But as more of the employees at your level are able to search up the same issues that they're having and see the ways that it was resolved and maybe take the same steps to resolve it themselves, it results in a decreased workload on the resolution teams. Overall, this costs the company less money, less time. It costs these people less time focusing on issues that occur again and again and again and again. It allows them to focus on modernization or improvement, or maybe correction of the main reason underlying the problem, to prevent this issue from happening again. A big usage of documentation processes is the identification of outages. So when your internet goes out and your modem lights are off and you can't do anything, restarting it does nothing. So you phone your ISP and you say, hey, all my lights are off. I don't know what's going on. The ISP is going to try and get to you. They're going to be like, nope, you're right. I guess your lights are off because I can't find you either. Awesome. Well, when you call in, okay, that sucks. And they're going to tell you they're going to look into the issue. But when the other 15 to 50 people in your immediate neighborhood also call in, also unable to access the internet, who your ISP can't reach, the system triggers this as a potential outage at anywhere between 5 and 10 occurrences within a given node in your neighborhood. 15 to 20 to 30 to 50, this becomes a confirmed outage. This becomes an immediate and urgent issue. The documentation process, which is at this point almost automated with certain criteria that's being met for the trouble that's being reported, it's just a couple click boxes by the employee at the other end of the phone, and the system identifies them, flags them, and once you have a certain quantity of these that show up, the documentation system then migrates these problems as a whole to a potential outage desk. Further issues that come in for the same area are automatically routed in and included in this to identify the outage and the severity of it. Documentation systems are very useful for this, to aggregate all the information into one place to identify the potential for a large-scale problem as opposed to one isolated to Joe Blow who can't play his Minecraft for an hour. But the biggest benefit for documentation of network troubles and issues is, again, efficiency. The more we learn, the more we do, the better we do. My coffee's wearing off. I can feel it. Doesn't feel good. All right, that wraps things up for video number 11. Again, my name is Chris. And next time on video number 12, we're going to be discussing the advantages and disadvantages of various network structures. It's going to be riveting. I think I want a theme song. I mean, I've got the costume, right? I should have a theme song. What do you mean? What are you looking at me like that for?